Hey guys, good evening, or rather, I think it's time to sleep. But yeah, good evening and welcome to another session. Markets are not really good, right? So we've had a nice rise this morning, but then it couldn't really withstand. And this is a clearly right now. It's looking like every sell is being sold. We look at the charts shortly, but definitely markets are looking weak, and I did not really expect such kind of fall. So today on 23rd November, I thought markets are reversed, but yeah, since that breakdown, I'm completely on the bearish side. I'm not completely bearish, but definitely markets have turned. On the shorter time frame, at least on the daily time frame, markets are definitely on the um, downside, and every sell is being sold. Like you can literally see that, like this sell has been sold, this rise was sold. Again, here also we kind of got sold, right? But still, today also is monthly chart. So if you look at the monthly charts, last week we had a strong wick and we now followed with a sell off. Right now I clearly said that 17,000 is level to watch out for, and if you close below that, then it's not really a good sign, and I think we have closed below that. But there are still stocks which are looking good, right? I posted a couple of stock ideas just now on Twitter, like CAMS, like Gujarat Gas, like we have spoke about a few more stocks, and all these stocks still look good, like MOREPEN, like THYROCARE, like PFIZER, and there are many other stocks. I can show you the list maybe later, but definitely all these stocks are definitely not looking. Many stocks not looking good, while a few stocks definitely still look good, right? So Motilal Oswal is another stock. Kaplan is another stock which is still decent. Now look at the monthly charts, and if you see a sideways trend in the monthly charts, those stocks definitely are worth a look, right? For example, if you look at Laurus, now Laurus is in a continuous downtrend. Now obviously it's trying to pause, but that's in a downtrend, right? Now whereas if you look at a MOREPEN on the monthly charts is still going sideways, right? So since that August, since that fall is still trying to go sideways, it's not broken that August low. Until August low is broken, it's still looking good. Obviously THYROCARE has been falling, but here I'm looking at the channel support, right? Now also if you see, we've not broken the channel support yet, and if you go to the daily charts, it'll think much better on the weekly charts, right? So it is kind of correcting since 11th of October, is going sideways. It's not really going down, right? So you can look at many stocks like this. PFIZER also has available channel support. It is not going down in spite of the market going down. Motilal Oswal the same. Kaplan Point also the same. Markets are going down, but they're not really going down. Okay, so try to find your stocks. The only problem here would be your position sizing. Don't go, too gung-ho if you don't have really good risk reward setups. You can take a really good position of 30% in case 40% also if you see that there's a really good risk reward setup. But otherwise, be careful. Next day, since the markets are very volatile, next day you can have a gap down, a gap up. You never know how it would work in your favor or not. So it's definitely worth being cautious and trying to protect your money as much as possible. Okay. So yeah, otherwise I think let's start. I think we've had quite a few people who have joined us already. So Nifty is definitely this morning. Yesterday we spoke about two scenarios. I'm just going to cover those two scenarios. Again, I'm just telling you what probably you should have done. So we spoke about this level yesterday, and we said that's the level that you want to watch out for. And we said above this we will be bullish, but we did go up and probably should have exited that long, at least around that zone, right? When it closed below 17 to 40 levels, you should have probably closed your longs around that level and probably gone short as well, or you should have gone short below this level, which is the level that we discussed, right? So just around the end of the day, we have closed below that and we went down, right? So probably should have gone, if you're a position trader, you should have gone short around that level, or if you're a little smart enough, you could have also gone short when we broke that swing low there, right? Or even around that low. So I still keep saying that higher lows are it's the mantra that you can follow on any time frame and you could still make money. But the point is, can you follow that to the bar, to the candle? For example, here you should have gone long, you could have gone short there, again you could have gone long there, made a few points, gone short there. There are so many ways to trade in markets, but all you have to have a defined approach and you need to follow that approach. Right now, a simple approach, even like a super trend, can do really well, or a moving average also can do really well. Okay, so it's up to you how you want to follow and how you are going to take those trades. Okay, but the outlook for tomorrow for me is definitely we have broken again important support. So I think we might have some sell off tomorrow morning as well. So for me, the stop loss for me, the short side stop loss for me is that zone, right? So if you're shorting the market, the stop loss for me is around 7170. So that's going to be my stop loss until we don't go above 7170. I still think this market could be a short, and you could sell on rise, and we might not see buying coming very soon, because there's been a lot of negative news, and I think that's literally going in spite of even the Fed comment today, is really bad. They also have accepted inflation finally, I think, and they will do some cost cutting measures, and that might affect the markets. Okay, so definitely we've broken a key support towards the end of the day, and we've kind of broken down. So for me, it's still a sell on rise, and I believe that every sell rise would be sold. Okay, in fact, I thought we would fill this gap before we head lower, but I don't think we can see that happening. Okay, yeah, so that's the level you want to watch out for, right? So you can still keep that zone right there. So we have broken that low, which is around 6970, right? 6970 was the low. We've broken that low, and the average price comes to 6975. You could also use today's low, short below 16975 as well, below this candle, below today's closing, or below today's low 6930 also could be used, right? But if you ask me what you should be doing, definitely it's a short the markets with a stop until 7170 is not crossed. Definitely it's a shorting market. Okay, it's not really a market to go long. You might not really get good rewards. Okay, so that's my take on Nifty, and yeah, that's it from my side. So yeah, obviously on the portfolio level, on the traded investor, we did really well the other day, but we've given back all the gains. Now that's why Naresh pointed out really an excellent point yesterday. Is this a sell on rise? Is this a market where you can't really do trend following? I'm still trying to do it because I feel that some stocks still can continue to do well. I'll probably test this approach for the next few trades, and if it doesn't really work out, I'm going to then be more risk averse. Okay, for now I'm still holding MOREPEN, THYROCARE, and PFIZER. Okay, in the traded investor portfolio, all are I think net to net we're still up 11% overall, and I still think that MOREPEN will still head higher. The stop loss can be even as close as 50, but I think MOREPEN can still do well. THYROCARE, until it doesn't close below 1100, I'm still going to hold this, and I'm going to still test my thesis of this channel, right? So I am expecting this as a channel reversal. So hopefully it reverses, and if it goes below 1080, then I'm out of this trade. And last one is PFIZER. PFIZER has corrected after 2 days of uptrend, so definitely PFIZER is also something that I'm going to continue to hold. Stop loss can be 4880. Because these are 3 stocks that I'm holding. So if it performs, then I'll continue to add them. Otherwise, there are other stocks also which I posted on Twitter, or if you have joined late, go back. I've discussed a few stocks in the starting as well. Okay, so that's it from a market outlook perspective. So summary, markets are still a sell on rise, bearish mode, consolidation might still continue going forward. So focus on the strongest stocks, don't focus on just random stocks, don't especially buy, so I've seen a lot of discussion going on about Sequent. Now, we did speak about in one of our sessions, in one of our live sessions on Friday, Sunday, we did speak about Sequent, and I said we're not going to look at it until higher forms. Now, let's say you were holding this, right? Let's say you were holding this, and if you had a simple rule to exit the stock when CCA was below -100, right? So CCA went below -100 this week, and if you had just exited the stock around 226 levels or even around 200 levels, you'd still save a decent amount of money, capital that you had. So that's why I always say, even if you're have the highest conviction in a stock, you need to have an exit plan. If you do not have an exit plan, you will get stuck in stocks. You will face such big drawdowns, and that's the reality in markets. Okay, especially a lot of you are new beginners, and holding a stock which has gone on 60% doesn't really make sense. You can be an investor, but for me, 60% down a stock, unless you want to add more around these levels, unless you have a strict plan, then I'm totally fine. But if you don't have a plan, and if you're just holding on hope, that is never ever going to work in markets. You will just be holding on to this. Now remember, the stock now has to go up. You know how much it has to go up? 130% if you want to completely recover this capital, if you invested by chance on the stop. Right now, that's what we talk about. The losses, it takes a lot of time to recover the losses, and if you're going to be down 90%, then it's going to take even much more time, and you never know when that recovery is going to happen. Okay, it sometimes might take years before that recovery happens. Okay, so don't get stuck in stocks. Please exit them if you're already into big losses, and move on to stocks that are doing well. They might help you make some money. Okay, so let's get into your questions. Amit has a question. Wanted to understand how do FIIs sell when a market's open, assuming time difference, and why do all FIIs sell together? I have no idea, Amit. See, don't get into all these things. These things do not matter, right? What matters is what is your plan? What are you going to do if the market falls? Now, FIs are selling, DIs are buying. It's just complete different views. Everyone in the market has different views, and you don't have to have the same views to make money in market. Now, FIs might be selling, but they might be shorting as well in order to make money, right? DIs might be buying the market, buying stocks, but they might be shorting the markets in order to hedge their positions. But what is your plan is the question, right? So, do you have a plan? Do you know what you're going to do is the plan, right? Is the question, not about what FIs are doing. I don't really know what they do. I don't really track this data. I know that people are talking about 5,000 crores selling every day, continuously. Obviously, they're going to sell at some point, right? And that sell off supposed to happen at some point, and that's happening now. It's just a matter of time, and that's for everything in markets. So please have a plan, and that's the only thing I don't really want to get into to FIs, DIs, when they sell, why they sell, and all that. Okay, and your next question again, do DIs know how much FIs sell? I don't think DIs really care what FIs are doing. FIs don't really care what DIs are doing. Everyone wants to protect their job, protect their mutual fund business, protect their money, customers' money, that's all. Okay. And don't get into all this. It doesn't help. If it helps you, do let me know how it helps. Probably I can also learn. Okay, Atesh, TCS chart on daily close about 10 DMA, weekly support 3400, volume looks good. Does it look it'll break? And possible targets. I have no idea in targets what it will do in December. In fact, no one will know. In fact, no one predicted this crash. No one predicted Omicron to come. So the same answer for this as well. No one knows what will happen December. No one knows what will happen tomorrow. All you know is what is your exit point, what is the entry point, right? Now, definitely for me, TCS looks ripe for an up move if it closes above 3580, 3575. If it goes above 3575, definitely it's worth looking at it. Until it doesn't cross that, don't be in a hurry and don't buy it. Or if you're buying it, then keep a stop around, even if you're buying now, if you buy later, keep a stop on 3400. Okay, now will it break out? Might break out tomorrow, might not break out tomorrow, might head down, no one knows. So all I can say is for now, follow a plan, keep stop loss 3400. Probably that's a trend line reversal there. It might head higher. If it breaks out, heads higher, then be in this kind of a stock, because that's a good stock, right, to be in. So that's a trend line. Probably it has reversed, right? Let's see. The confirmation will be about 3575, Atish. Stop loss 3400. Okay. India VIX, and you've talked about 10 DMA, 20 DMA, weekly support, right? So I don't get into DMAs really. I just follow price action, and yeah, if it helps you, well and good. And targets, probably look at previous highs, so probably can head towards that gap which is around 3900 probably, but I don't know when. Okay. India VIX are rising, a concern. If markets are falling, VIX is a sign of an indicator of fear, right? So if obviously markets are falling, VIX is rising, which makes total sense. Now whether this VIX rise will continue or not, I have no idea. But what I can all say is that unless we don't cross that level of 29, I think we might see some sell-off going forward as well. But there's a massive resistance around 29 levels. If we cross that, then we're going to see more volatility. But for now, I think VIX might stabilize. So probably there's a trend there as well, right? So probably VIX might stabilize around 29 levels and might then cool off again, right? So that's a very strong resistance zone. Okay. Hey Suman. Okay, Suman asks, let's check accuracy. Again, looks excellent. It's just consolidating. Definitely looks worth a bet. Stop loss can be 175, or if you're conservative, then even 160 can be a stop loss. So okay, markets throwing bulls bears everyone out. I think yes, because especially for intraday trader, I think today was a crazy day, especially after the morning rise. I for a moment I thought that markets might kind of consolidate and then head higher, but then the sell-off was really crazy, right? So that's why only stop loss can protect everyone in markets. Okay, Suman is saying if you enter a stock looking in weekly chart, then exit would be based on weekly chart, or in daily, if previous low broken, then weed out. You need to have a set of rules, Suman. I think I've answered this multiple times. It is okay to look at weekly charts and enter, and it's okay to exit on daily charts. It's okay to exit on weekly charts. You need to know what you're doing, right? Are you here to capture the bigger trend? Are you here to capture the small trend? What are you here for? Right? You need to question that. So for example, if you enter accuracy here, and if you want to ride the bigger trend, because this is probably that this is going to be a big trend, then you need to have patience to go through this consolidation, right? Whereas if you're if you're trading based on the daily charts, and if you entered based on the weekly charts, then you'd have probably exited somewhere around that point, right? Somewhere at exit on that point, or you could have held on to this forever, right? So it depends on what you want to do. I stress this point again and again and again. You need to be clear, what are you doing here in markets? Are you just gambling? Do you have a plan? If you don't have a plan, if you're just gambling, you will lose money definitely one day. I'll make that, especially in this kind of market, you will lose money. Okay, I'll make that point very straightforward. I've lost money. I've also gambled. I've also come across this point. So you're definitely going to lose money. So please have a plan and know what you're doing and stick to one plan, because there are so many different factors in this market that you cannot have a different situation for different cases, right? Have one plan, follow that plan. You might face some series of losses at some point, but you will come back at some point if you follow a plan. And that's what I've been trying to teach here, and please follow it. That's all I can say. Okay, but accuracy definitely looks good. And Suman, I hope I answered your point. If not, just try it again. I can answer. Check again. Manali Petrochemical and Nalco. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, Manali Petro. So it looks like it has broken. Finally it has broken swing high, swing low. Oh, sorry, it's just about to break, right? So for me, that's the final point. So if it goes below 109.3, it is already closed below 109.3 today. So tomorrow, if you see another close below this, probably you want to exit Manali and look at it again later, because after many I think months, it is finally breaking the previous swing low. Or if you want to be a little conservative and if you want to hold it for more, then probably you can also wait until this swing low is taken out on the weekly charts, right? So that swing low around 75 levels. So again, you need to decide what is your stop loss and what is your comfort in that levels. Okay. National Aluminum, I think I've already spoken about this. Metals are having a crazy fall, right? And I gave a last level which was 85, I think, right? 85 was the level that last. So if you close below 85, then I think you need to be out of positional trades. But if you're from investment perspective, then go to weekly charts, find the nearest major weekly support, which is this. And if it goes below 72, then you'll completely exit as well for investment perspective. Okay, so that's my take, Jake. Please check Vishnu Chemicals and Natural Capsules. Okay. Yeah, it's still looking good, Vishnu. So I'm just going to plot this, right? So that's the trend line, right? It's still quite far away from the trend line. So anyways, I think it's still correcting. If you're holding from investment, then this is a weekly swing low, which is around 660, 666. And on the daily charts, I think still there's a lot of time, right? So this swing low is 666. I think that's also coinciding with the weekly charts. So keep stop loss 666, and if it goes below that 666, then exit. But for now, it still looks good. It can recover still. Okay. Natural capsules. Natural capsules. Wow, I know heard of this company, to be honest. Yeah, got it. This is the first time looking at this, I think. Yeah, this also looks good, Sagar. I think it has gone through some consolidation. I think it's heading higher. Clearly one of the strongest stocks in this bear market. So also it has broken out from a very key resistance, right? So that's a major breakout there. So yeah, definitely worth considering. I'm just looking how long this has been in the market, right? So yes, definitely worth considering. I think it has one of the highest volumes. Keep a stop around 150 levels. Okay. Okay. Just checking a few of the stocks. Yeah, Sagar, please let everyone know your stock selection process. Kumulagiri Maruti entered at 7,700. Is it time to book loss and exit, or wait till last support till 6,700? See, Kumulagiri, that's 7,700 and 6,700. That's 1,000 point drop. That's more than a 15% drop from the current levels. So okay, I'm sorry, let me check the chart first before I give you your views. Maybe you're talking about a different level. Yeah, right. So you entered at 7,700, yeah, around that point, right? That's why somewhere you entered there. So you can keep 6590 or even 6400 could be a final major support zone on weekly charts. See, these kind of big companies, I don't really see them going below that level, right? So if you have the patience and if you're able to take that amount of loss that you have from the current price that you have, then you can continue to hold until 6400 is taken out. If 6400 closes below on weekly basis, then definitely it's not worth looking anymore, right? But there's a major inverted head and shoulders there. I think it's kind of facing resistance, and it needs to really take out that to head higher. 8350, 8400 is the level it needs to take out. But until it doesn't go below 6400, you can still continue to hold. But again, it depends on how much you're losing, right? So are you really okay with that? And if you want a pyramid around 6400, you can definitely consider pyramiding around 6400 as well, or even around levels of 6500 or 6600. That also could be a zone that you can watch out for. Okay, it all depends on how much are you willing to lose. Okay, see, negative news there, it'll keep coming, going, but I feel always price charts will always reflect the truth, and if it goes below 6400, that's really some bad news. Okay, Raja Pandian is asking about Goldium. This was one of the best stocks, right, some time back, and I also mentioned that this is a major zone that you need to watch out for, because the stock has finally broken the zone. It's heading lower. I think it's time to exit Goldium, to be honest. And if you still want to hold, then definitely go on the weekly charts, and the major support I see is around that zone. That's a major support, so that's too deep, right? So for now, I definitely consider exiting, because those wicks on the top doesn't look good on the weekly charts, and even on the monthly charts, it's finally forming a big red candle. This month we've closed this month, so first time red candle. So I think all these signs, at least for me, for now, I would exit the stock and look at it again later. Okay, definitely looks bearish, at least from a positional trading perspective. And also on the weekly charts, it looks like there has been some clear distribution on the top with those wicks, right? So yeah, I think it's time to exit Goldium and review later. Tata Steel Long Products, Amarjit, seeing you after a long time. Tata Steel LLP. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get at this. Yeah. Okay, again a major distribution here as well. So I think it is, I did draw this some time back. I thought that was a breakout, but it was a terrible failure and is heading lower, right? So wait for some consolidation, and then you can look at it again later. So as I always say, major support zones on weekly charts, a simple line is all enough to identify that. So at least a minimum 2-3 months of support. If it breaks out and if it goes lower, then it's definitely exit. This is also inverted head and shoulders breakdown, right? So the exit point should have been around 830 should have been the exit point, and I think this can still head lower again. Okay, probably when it comes around levels of around 680, 600 levels is when you want to look at it again. 570, 600 levels. Okay, so until then, stay away for some time. Made position in Circa and Carborundum. Let's look at both. Circa, I think it's the paint company, right? Yeah, yes. Yeah, definitely looks good. I think it has broken out. It's heading higher. Definitely, you can keep a stop at yesterday's low as well, around 400. Definitely looks excellent. Or even around 360 also could be a stop. Carborundum Universal. Let's look at this. This also looks fantastic. I think it's still not broken down. Major support zone on 810, 815. So unless it doesn't go below that, it's totally fine. Continue to hold it, and it might do well. Okay. So focus on these kind of stocks, right? They're looking good. Nice to know your view, Sagar, on how you pick. Stormcatcher view on India Glycol and Polycab. I think Polycab looks good. India Glycol, I have not checked it since a while. Yeah, this also looks good, right? So stop loss 790, you can still use it. You can still keep this, and until 790 holds, you can continue to hold this. It looks like it is reversed. So if it heads higher, good. Otherwise, wait for not wait for confirmation. Keep a stop around 790. You can still buy it. Okay. Polycab, I think this also is reversed, to be honest. Yeah, this also is reversed. 2120 stop loss. You can keep it as a stop. You continue to hold it. Let's see if it heads higher. Okay. Yes, Naresh, Minda Industry was a trendline reversal. We spoke about it. I think a lot of the mid cap and small caps did actually well today. I think it's just the broader market. I think more of the F&O stocks and large caps fell. I think that's why market kind of fell. But this was a nice reversal, and it is continuing. So hope it continues, and hope it goes well also in the future. Okay, hey Masood, in this end, let's look at it. On the weekly, you're asking, right? On the weekly, it looks like it has broken a major support, right? So it has already broken a major support. So this was a major support there, the first major support, and the next one is around here. So that's probably the last major support that I'll be looking at, even if I want to hold the stock. So if it goes below 800 levels, then definitely it's an exit. And below that, it can head lower. Probably it can consolidate for some time. So 810 is probably, like you said, 810 is a good support on the weekly charts. Okay, I don't want to exceed the 2 stock limit, but also check Talbros Auto if possible. Okay, I think this did give a good move today. Yes, it did. So it did execute again. See, these are excellent stocks to be in, right? So the stock corrects now, it is a good buy because I don't think it'll correct that much. The stop loss here can be around 250 levels or even on 260 levels, but definitely worth looking at. And that's also inverted head and shoulders breakout or a rectangle setup as well, if you may call it. So both, it looks fantastic, right? So try to track these stocks and try to keep a buy stop above those breakout points. You might get one or two trades, really good trades, and they might really work out well. Okay. Okay, Gail, Amit. As I said, I think I've spoken about this before as well. Yeah, there's a massive breakdown, right? It's also broken down from major supports. So for me, these stocks are not worth holding. So that was the first zone, head and shoulders breakdown there. This is also a massive head and shoulders breakdown. So definitely looking very bearish. It can head lower. It is broken down also, I think, on the weekly charts. If you look, it has also broken a key support on the weekly charts, right? So that was a major support zone, 135. It has also gone below that. So it looks very bearish to me, can head lower. Network 18, I think today was a, just retest of the breakdown. So we've talked about retest of breakouts. I think it's retest of breakdown. It is definitely looking, short term. I think it can head to 50 levels. So that's a breakdown there. I think it can head towards 58 levels, which is a retest. So if you get around 58 levels, I definitely add this here because it's a nice trendline support. It has gone up a lot and it is also rejected around the median support. So 58 is a level I'll watch out for this again. Okay. Okay, techie index. I don't do intraday. I'm happy that you're doing. If it works for you, totally fine. Okay, Musafir Venki's. I think Venki's has reversed from a, okay, it has broken down actually. So that was the trend I was looking at. But for me, again, a major support zone is this zone because that was the previous point from where it reversed. So if we break down again, you can keep a stop around 2180 or you can keep a stop even, around 2400 as well. Right, so if you can hold on to this levels of 2400, then definitely for me it's worth a look, and you can still consider it, but wait for a higher low to form and then you can probably take a bet on this. Okay, so markets are bearish. Every stock will take its own sweet time from now on to head higher again, so don't rush into buying any stock, especially when they're forming low high low lows. Okay, see, techie in this, I don't know what's the name, but I don't use so many indicators, to be honest. I am purely just pure price action. I don't use anything while I'm looking in a trade. For scanning, I use CCI, but otherwise I don't use anything. Okay, Masood view on Poonawalla FinCorp and MOREPENLAB. MOREPENLAB looks good. Masood, I've already given my views. Poonawalla FinCorp, I think this also is strong. Yeah, it's strong, definitely. Keep a stop around 140 and could work out. Okay. FM Industries, Musafir has another one. FM Industries. Yeah, I'd be a little cautious here, but still, I think 1040 could be a stop. If it holds 1040, continue to hold because that's a major support zone that I'm looking at. So if it breaks down below this and if it closes below that, definitely an exit for me. Okay. Tata Steel, I think we spoke about this as well. It has finally showing signs of reversal. Trendline has definitely broken down. For me, the final support is this zone, right? So that's the final support. And if it goes below this, definitely you need to be out. So the level I'm talking about is 5,550. If it closes below 5,550, definitely worth, definitely worth moving to some other stock. But for now, it looks like a safe zone. Okay, now you might find a lot of wicks in these kind of markets. That's because of the volatility that's happening. So someone asked me whether you need to really, yesterday I think someone asked, should you wait for close? Should you wait for stop loss for the market to close and then take a decision? It depends on your position size. I repeat again, if your position is really big, then your losses can be big. And if you wait for your stop loss to beat, it might happen that, the stock might close way below also. So know what you're doing, know what your setups are, and that's the only way you can save yourself from markets. No one can really save yourself from markets except yourself. Okay. Cool, Naresh, waiting for a chart. Hindustan Zinc. I did see a chart, Vallabh, on this one, but as I say always, it might look on the hourly charts. It's a two on, so you might be looking at that, on the 4-hour chart. I know what you're looking at, that contraction over there, but I'll still wait for it to cross, this level, okay, because it might go sideways for some more time. So 345 is the zone I'd be looking at. If it crosses about 345, I'd look at it, definitely take, it's worth taking a look at this stock. But also this is not a very volatile stock. It doesn't move that much. So if you want to take a position now, it's up to you. Keep a stop around 310, but I would take a position only about 345. Okay, because this looks me. I don't see a single good candle till now. It's all minor candles except for 1 and 2 candles here. There is demand which is popping up, but I still feel this is just partial rise. It can still head lower. That's why I want to wait for 345 or wait for some nice more candles. It might consolidate for some more time before it heads higher. Okay. Yeah, Escorts looks good. It actually looks fantastic. It's one of the few stocks in the F&O space that are actually doing well, right? So it does look excellent. And also here Escorts keep a stop around 1420 levels. Okay. So yeah, that's it. I think see, the key takeaway for me for the next coming days or coming weeks is that you have to be really careful. Okay, it's your money. You've worked hard for it. Don't just give it to markets, and just throw it away. Have a strategy in place. If you don't have a strategy today, I'm sure you learn. Markets always teach lessons to everyone. It's about whether you learn from that, whether you take that as a lesson and learn and improve or not. So that's the only takeaway from today's session. Otherwise, I think like this video. Don't forget to share this with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe also to to the channel if you haven't. And a lot of people would be losing money. If you do have people, just help your friends. These are times that most of us would be really worried about some of stocks falling. Teach them that you can still keep your money safe. You don't have to always enter markets. Okay. And it might be helpful for both of you. So that's it. I'll leave you here. Take care, sleep well, and I'll see you again tomorrow in another video. Bye bye. I'll see you tomorrow again. Thank you.